Hey, what's up guys, Books Nelson here, back with another video, and today we'll be talking about this new update to these Team USA cards that will be available. So let's get right into it. So as you guys know, I'm not particularly excited about these cards because Team USA cards do not fit the My Team meta this late into the year. I know this is the time period that we do be doing Team USA, but unfortunately the content just doesn't line up with the game because nobody is playing with a 6', 6'3" wingspan guard in June. And they're not changing the jumpers on these cards either. Although I will say Allen Iverson does have a very good base in this game. So his base on very quick. They call it the T-Mac for small guards. Very straight up and down, very easy to time, easy to hit. Thought his shot's been pretty good all year. So that will be working in his favor. But he's got a lot of other things not going in his favor. Like his crossover isn't particularly good. He got Curry slide. Curry snatchback is great, but quite frankly, if you're 6 foot tall and you don't have patty base, you have pretty much no chance of playing at this point in the year. Most people aren't playing a 6 foot tall guard anyway, but at least if you have patty base, you could say offensively you can really go out there and cook people. But very, very many taller guards provide a similar or better advantage. And he also has the Allen Iverson layup package, which is extremely troll in this game. This is another great example of 2K wanting to put things in the game that look good but don't play well. And I think philosophically that's something the company really needs to figure out is, do you want a game that plays well or do you want a game that looks like basketball, right? Does it feel like basketball? Does it feel like the moves feel effective like in real life? Or does it just look how it looks in real life, right? But it has nothing to do with effectiveness, because a lot of the stuff Allen Iverson does makes his layup package one of the worst layup packages in the game, not because all of the layups are bad, but because some of the layups are so bad that they can take away points from you, right? So that's, luckily he's a great slasher. Outside of that, he has all of these dunk packages, so he can survive. But yeah, he's got AI leaner. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about the 6 foot tall guard, but you know, as far Allen Iverson cards are generally fun, and with the Pro 2 leaner, I do think he can score fine. But at the end of the day, a 6 foot tall guard in June is just, crazy. So that is what it is. June, in fact, I'm saying June it's July now, actually. So 6 foot tall guard in July is nuts. We're going to save Hakeem because he's one of the few cards that play. Chris Mullen, hopefully he plays. What's he looking like? So again, he's got his own jumper. Great SIGs. Well, I would say good SIGs, actually. The James Harden step back is not elite. It's fine, but you need, the way I look at it is like this. If you're not gonna have elite, actually his size is decent at the 2 guard, but you either have to have elite size, elite jumper, or elite SIGs. If you strike out on 2 out of the 3, then it's just not cutting it. And here he strikes out on 2 out of the 3, right? Like his shot is fine, but it's not absolutely elite. And his SIGs are also not absolutely elite, which means he's fine. He's not even a terrible card. If some people want to use him, feel free. I think he's solid. I actually remember in salary cap, I really enjoyed playing against him in salary cap. Somebody was like pretty good with his old Ruby card or whatever. But no, this guy obviously doesn't play very much either, and we're going to keep it moving. Kevin Love. So Kevin Love is another great example, right? If they were willing to budge on his position, he might be able to play, because Kevin Love card's been pretty good all year. His base is good, good shot. He's got some great SIGs, right? He's had a great card in this game before. And I think in triple threat, Kevin Love's actually good. So that's one thing I'll give him over the cards we've seen so far. I think Kevin Love makes a pretty good triple threat card. So, that's looking good as far as that goes. And a lot of people might say, well, you're dogging on these cards, but they're 100 overall, 101 overall, or whatever they call it, invincible cards. But the stats on Dark Matters are so high that going from a 98 to a 99 vertical is irrelevant, right? Like going for, like, a lot of these cards, the post moves is what's making them the high overall. But when it comes to offense, defense, and athleticism, the Dark Matters have already been high or max 90s already. In fact, some of the opals have already been max. Like Dennis Rodman was already 99 everything on defense, right? So, the stats, it looks good. And again, you have Hall of Fame badges everywhere, which is also great. But even though technically not everywhere, but I don't know. I don't think there's any Hall of Fame badges that are particularly missing. Space Creator would have been nice, but with basic 2 hop jumper, like, come on, man, he needs Jokic hop jumper, absolutely. Like, this is a card that needs Jokic hop jumper. Jimmy moving step back, just not gonna cut it. I'm gonna go ahead and say I'd actually go as far as say this card is slightly below mid for his. I mean, and I'm talking only in a triple threat context. In unlimited, I think you're almost crazy if you play this card. But at 6'8", if you're 6'8" and unlimited, you need to be Tyrus Thomas, right? Like you need to have every perfect animation in the game, perfect base, perfect release. Tyrus Thomas is a super mutant. Like if you're gonna play him, that's fine. I think he's 6'9" anyway, right? 6'8" is just not cooking in unlimited in July. That's ridiculous. Kyrie Irving, you know what? I'm not going to go too over this card because we've gotten a bajillion Kyrie Irving cards. If you want this Kyrie Irving card, you already have him for free in the form of his Dark Matter. Let's see if there's anything different between him and his Dark Matter. Let's go ahead and compare. And so we see here, right? So he gets a 90 standing dunk. I mean, 99 standing dunk over his 50 standing dunk. I mean, that's fine, I guess. But as a shooter, he's literally exactly the same. Athletically, he's almost the same, except he has more strength. But again, with Greg Popovich in the shoe, you can get this pretty close. And also, at 6'2" with a 6'4" wingspan, I don't care if he has 199 strength. He's just not going to play the kind of defense you need for that to matter as much as you want. Obviously, you'd rather have it than not. But that's essentially the card right here. This is the card, 99 strength. This is 99 strength Kyrie Irving that you already have for free. So there is that. But yeah, animation wise, he's exactly the same, except he has Tray Escape. That's interesting. That's interesting that they gave him Tray Escape and Pro 2 Leaner. So he is a ever so slightly better version of this card because I do think that Tray Escape does help him out a bit. But again, even with that though, like that's just one situation. Okay, I have the ball and I'm L2 canceling. Outside of that, you know, what's he L2 canceling for? That's the other thing you got to look at, right? Like when you L2 cancel, you have to L2 cancel for a reason. He can only L2 cancel back into the Tray Escape because he doesn't have an elite behind the back or an elite snatch back. So Kyrie, he's fine, probably fun, but at the end of the day, a barely usable card once again. And here we have Harrison Barnes. Let's check out the animations. So Kyrie dribble style, base motion style, which is a strange nerf. Ja size up, Tray Escape is awesome. Steph Curry slide with Chris Paul snatchback. So he has better animations than most. I don't know who has this J. Cole crossover. I don't remember this being particularly good. I don't remember being particularly bad either. I'd have to take a look. Harrison Barnes hop jumper is actually fantastic. I'm surprised that this hop jumper hasn't been put on more cards in the game, because this is a nice card you can put in to like differentiate things for people who just like this one more than say normal 2 or something like that. This card's great. I mean, this hop jumper is great. Pro 2 leaner is awesome. This is one of the better cards released. I don't remember his jumper. I used his jumper on, but it was on normal, but I used it on his Evo card from before, but it felt fine. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's a pretty decent jumper. I don't think it's particularly slow. Let's see what the comment section says. Somebody's saying good on current. Yeah, I mean, people think his jumper is going to be pretty decent. I think this is like, he's usable, definitely, at the power forward. I mean, at the small forward position. Is he elite at the small forward position? I wouldn't say so. I think he would need the the Jamal Murray or Kobe or John Wall crossover or even Luka to be elite. But I do think he's got Allen Iverson layup package. So you got to watch out for that. It's very, very, very troll. But that having been said, I think at least this card is solid, right? I think at least this card can play on a really good team. The other cards, I don't think any of those cards play on a really good team, even compared to free cards that are still available right now. Okay, Hakeem Olajuwon. So this is obviously a very good card. Hakeem cards have been fantastic all year. Let's go ahead and compare him to the other Hakeem. And so I'm actually curious about this because they have been doing this thing recently where one of the cards gets blessed with new animations and the other ones don't as much. So he gets the Kemba Escape, big upgrade there over the Pro. And this Kobe Bryant moving spin versus Pro moving spin. I have no idea what those are. He moves up to Kyrie Irving dribble style over Michael Jordan. Again, Michael Jordan dribble style is fantastic, but Kyrie Irving definitely has his advantages. He's other than that, he's mostly identical. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's really different about the card, right? First, we'll go to the badges. And what does he really have here that he didn't have before? Okay, so Space Creator Hall of Fame versus not having it is big because of that. Nikola Jokic hop jumper is fantastic. Bailout is a big badge. Special delivery doesn't matter. Defensively, he is pretty much identical. In fact, except for Hall of Fame pick dodger, I don't think you feel ankle braces and chase down artists pretty much at all. Going from gold to Hall of Fame, I do think Hall of Fame pick dodger, you'll probably get a few better animations for sure. Hall of Fame Slithery and Pro Touch, I don't think are a major factor in a card like this. These are good badges, but I think on a guard, they matter more. Whereas on a center, there's so many ways for you to finish, and centers finish so well when they have very high dunk that I don't think it's as big of a deal. Giant Slayer might be a little bit useful if you're going against Yao and Wemby, actually. But again, we are going from gold to Hall of Fame, so these aren't massive upgrades here. Comeback Kid is completely irrelevant. So, I mean, really, it's just about Space Creator and Bailout. That badge-wise, that's the big difference between these two cards, which is not... I mean, again, Bailout is nice. I don't know how much you're bailing out with a center, but that's up to you guys to decide on that. And I was looking at the old gen badges. We'll check the new gen just in case there's anything. But again, I know defensively he was already so strong that, yes, he's going to be the same anyway. So immovable is not a factor there. All right, so attribute-wise, what's really different? So he was already an elite shooter. A shoe already got him here, from a 94 to a 98 with just a shoe, and then the coach will put him over the top. So that's not relevant. Defensively, virtually identical because these are just +1, +2 in a few places. Again, if you're running Popovich or if you throw a shoe on that, that's identical. It's only +1s for the most part. Over here, I guess a +6 to speed. Shoe gets you most of the way there. Coach gets you the rest of the way. And same as a slasher, you're not going to really feel the difference here with a slasher either. So at the end of the day, this card is basically identical to this card, although I will say going up to Kemba Escape does make a solid difference on this card. I will say that much. Now, if I had this card and this card, say, costed 50,000 MT, would I buy this card to upgrade over this card? No, I would not. Right? Like, this card would have to be so cheap. Like, if there was an auction house, and I know that's just brings pain at this point, but if there was an auction house and this card was within maybe 20,000 MT, maybe I'd do it. So, that's, if you think about the auction house and these two cards, that kind of puts it in perspective. Because, like, if you had this card in the auction house and you had to sell this card and get this card, how much would you be willing to pay out of your currency to get these cards? Or if you were going to buy these cards and this one's brand new, so it's like way higher, and this one's way cheaper, you're thinking, oh, great, this card came out, so now I can go get Hakeem because this guy's going to drop in price, right? So very unfortunate state of affairs as far as that goes. I don't talk too much about the auction house, and I'm not going to start right now in this moment, but maybe I'll talk about it at some point before 2K25 comes out. But yeah, very unfortunate thing here where the way the player market cards are priced and the availability of the cards, even if you did want to upgrade this card to this card just because you were a Hakeem fan and you wanted to use him, or maybe you just like the Team USA card art and you're a Hakeem fan, it's just completely unfeasible. This card is like in some hyper rarity, and this guy's probably going to be on boards or somewhere pretty soon. Probably going to be pretty attainable at some point this season, I would expect. But that is going to cut it for this collection. And at the end of the day, listen, Hakeem's already a good card. He's still a good card. Is Hakeem one of the very best cards at his position? I think he's good. I don't think he's one of the very, very best at his position. I just think he's solid. More than solid. I think he's good, but not one of the very best at his position. Harrison Barnes, absolutely mid. I think Tyrese Thomas is better enough that I would just, if I needed a small forward, I'd just go get Tyrese Thomas 10 times out of 10, over this card. I wouldn't even if I pulled this card, I would just sell him and contribute that towards Tyrese Thomas. This guy would never play for me over getting a card as good as Tyrese. And the rest of these cards are completely irrelevant. This is honestly a waste of resources in every way. All of these cards, I don't know how you get all of these cards, but they should 100% be free and easy to get. Like, honestly, these guys should be in spotlights and you just get everyone. The idea of these being in packs, honestly, these are all pretty much troll cards. And I would say if you have Hakeem, then all of these are troll cards. All of these just made whatever availability that you would just wish that these were other things. And that was the destiny of this Team USA content, which I wish the developers would have seen coming a million miles away, because to me, this is an objectively awful, awful idea. There's 2 seasons in a row where we have objectively bad ideas put into the market. Team USA cards with a bunch of undersized cards with bad jumpers, not bad jumpers, but mid to bad jumpers at the end of the year, combined with GOAT series cards where we get duplicates of cards where, like in the case of Dirk, he's just a dark matter ruining people's pack pulls because those Dirk dark matters pretty much are bad. This is two seasons in a row where we've gotten terrible ideas. And I hope they get their stuff together before 2K25, because if they launch with concepts this bad, it doesn't look good. So I'm sorry we don't have better news here. Hakeem's a good card. Harrison Barnes is okay. The rest of these guys should never see anyone's court unless you are a big fan or physically blood related to these players. You should not be running, or running a theme team. You should not be running these guys. But at least in my opinion, if you guys feel differently, let me know in the comment section. Maybe you guys really cook with Kyrie and these guys. Maybe you see a lot of success with Chris Mullen, and I need to be more open-minded. I'm open-minded to that as well. But until then, I'll see you guys in the next one. Please like and subscribe if you have not already. Appreciate your support. I can't believe the growth of this channel and the growth of this community. I love the comment section. I love the discussions we have. Even when people disagree, I love disagreeing in this community because we're all about elevating the discussion. That means you have to have a discussion. And it's not just about me being right or only seeing one side of things. So I appreciate you guys and all of your feedback. And with that, I will see y'all soon. Peace.